holy shit, I'm blonde.
Yeah, that looks ridiculous. Like,
On
especially the
camera?
top part.
No, on camera it actually looks not decent. In reality, not so much.
No, you look very, very white.
Yeah, I like it on the screen actually.
Okay. Well, hey guys,
That's
good
awesome.
evening. We're a little bit later than normal because we were actually coming from a birthday party. To be more precise, her brother's birthday party that we
Well,
attended.
it's not really. Yeah, it was a birthday thing with the family.
Okay, birthday assembly.
Of the family.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been trying to be all social and stuff. So we
More or
didn't.
less.
Yeah, well, we
We played
tried,
with a
we tried.
kitty, played with a
And
straw.
it's so funny. So you guys have seen her brother's cat. It's called Petel. It's like a really weird word if you're not from Germany.
It's like
probably.
Peter, but a cute version, so
Yeah,
they
Peter.
put the LE at
It's
the
that
end.
big, fluffy black cat that
Yeah.
always looks very grumpy when you see it in the vlogs.
Yeah.
So you've never seen him in his natural habitat either,
No.
right?
No.
Because every time that-
Well, I saw it in the old, but he wasn't.
Yeah, but every time that we've seen him, he's always grumpy. He doesn't like being around stuff.
Yeah.
And
Always walks away.
today we actually saw him just hoppling around the garden and stuff. It's amazing. That cat is awesome.
Well,
He's a lot sweeter than normal. So
how about you start with our usual intro?
yeah, okay. So welcome to our Sunday night live stream where we talk about stuff and things where we never really prepare for anything. And as I already said, we're like half hour later. We're keeping it a little bit shorter than normal, I think, because I have a splitting headache. And well, my hands are also splitting in a way.
Well,
We'll talk
I have a
about
headache
that
too.
in a second.
Plus, I'm working on this, but
I already saw
I'm
someone ask in the chat about like how I'm doing with my hands. Yeah, talk about your prototype.
Yeah,
because,
we can talk about that later, I think.
No, we can do it now. I like it. You have it in your hands anyway. So she started working on her Legatha costume. She already did her shirt. Was it last week or the week
Yeah.
before that? When you showed that?
Oh, I
I think it was last week.
Yeah, last
Yeah,
week.
so she dyed it blue and everything, and she made it from scratch.
And I'm just working on the mock-up prototype for the leather top. And I'm using a material that's also like stiff, so I don't have to actually do something with the edges and just kind of sew it together. Although the technique is actually the same, but I will have punched holes in the actual leather. Here I didn't do that, so
It has more of a traditional stitching type.
the stitching technically is the same, but
Yeah.
you see a lot of like that stuff. That's gonna happen with the top, and this is the back part. The front part is over there. I already finished that. It fits. I think I have a bit more boobs than I. Well, the thing is, when he taped me, he did it too tight, so I did.
Oh, it's my fault.
No. Listen. So we should have just done this part, and I should have worn. No. I actually was wearing a sports bra, which was my mistake. I should have worn one of the padded bras I have because I will wear that underneath. So the sports bra, he squished basically my chest, so it was too flat. So what I did, I extended the boobage a bit, but it also went to the side. So right now I think I have too much boobs on the side. Not to say side boob, that because it's not actually the side boob. People actually would connect with that, but it is actually a side boob right now. So.
Yeah.
I have to work on the front, but I'm pretty happy with the back. So this is the middle part. And then what's missing right now is I have to attach the side parts, which I have already sewn together. But since it's all hand stitching, it just takes some time. But I'll finish this tonight, and I might actually wear it as either elfin costume or something.
Yeah,
or...
you can still use it for something else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Mr. Apricot is already going. Sorry about that.
Mister. Sorry.
You can always watch the stream afterwards when it goes live. So
Sorry
make
for
sure
that,
to comment
guys.
when you watch the stream.
Yeah, phone was empty and no connection, so we couldn't really update Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
That's okay.
So
Yeah, let's go to the most obvious thing for those who are now watching live or a little bit afterwards when it's gone up on YouTube. And aren't following me either on social media or haven't watched the last two vlogs, I think.
Yep.
They went up. Earlier this week, I had an accident. Let's just say that. As you guys know, I'm going to a language course down in the city center area. And
false alarm.
Okay.
Well, welcome back then.
I was reading it at the same time. I was just thinking. No, I go to a language course that is like 5-10 minutes away on the penny board, and I've taken the penny board out almost every single day, even when it was raining one of the days, like really heavily. Most of the time, it's okay. It's not a problem. But the problem in Germany is that streets are very narrow here, in particular, and many in towns, and cars park on either side of the road with the excuse of cars then having to slow down. On the penny board, that is fine. Basically, I like to think of myself more as a cyclist than a pedestrian because I go way too fast on the sidewalk.
Yeah, you shouldn't be on the sidewalk.
No, that's
cars and trees. Whatever.
Wednesday, when I was going there, like legitimately 60 seconds before
strollers and kids, not cars and trees. Yeah, I'm sorry.
60 seconds before I actually reached my destination, a really big Audi wagon basically pushed me off the road. And the problem is that not everywhere the sidewalk is like nice and flush with the road. It's like a actual steep angle. And since I didn't expect that a car all of a sudden being, and he came from the back, I kind of slipped in a way, like you slip on a banana peel, like that same effect. Landed on my hands, on my face, made a dive roll on my knees and my elbows, and I now have two really big holes in my hands. I call it like scrapes, but they are just straight up, just skin is gone. On this size, more or less, like on both sides. It's luckily not as bad as it was the last couple of days. It's like no longer bleeding, for instance, which is nice. And it's finally closed up enough with like the new skin cells that are now starting to hopefully grow there, that it like when I don't have to wear bandages like this. P? It's morning P.
P.
I have mine over there.
No, P.
What?
P. Cheers.
I was talking still.
I know.
I will P cheers you in a second. Don't drink the entire caffeine.
Empty.
Oh, but yeah, I had to walk the last 100 meters to the language course. Walked in, and I didn't even notice that my face was all scraped up on the side. And I walked in, I was like, "Hey, could you help me really quick because something happened." And everyone freaked out because apparently I had like blood on my face, and my hands got legitimately pretty bad after me walking there. So I spent 30 minutes at an ambulance that got called, even though I said that it was kind of unnecessary. Police actually also were called at the same time.
Yeah,
which I felt a little bad about it because there's nothing they can do.
As soon as they actually have something like that and the ambulance comes, they have to call the police.
Yeah. That's fine by me, but I just feel bad for the people who had to show up. It was like, I'm fine.
We
most
don't
of it.
have big crime rates here.
I know that's the thing.
Let them do
I actually
something.
know that they came from like the office space that they have here, probably just around the corner. They got in their car like,
they were probably bored at their desks anyway.
Yeah. So. Props to the local ambulance service and the police service because they handled it very nice and stuff. Even though I didn't really speak that much of German.
Wait for the bill.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Even though I didn't really speak much German, they managed to make a good conversation still, and they understood very well that I was like, it feels unnecessary, but yeah, I'm happy that I still went to the ambulance wagon because the last couple of days I noticed that I made a very bad tumble. Let's just say I've fallen before with my penny board, but not like this. Like I still have a big bump on my knee from the knee that I fell on. It's like scraped and bruised. Like my elbows are very much painful and my lower back hurts for now. So I just hope that my lower back recovers and doesn't start acting up again like it has done before.
We are on TV. Thank you.
That's cool.
He's trying really hard not to go there. I would say find a job, then we have more money, and you don't have to go there.
You made that joke on the day itself. Like,
oh yeah,
I'd rather work a job that I hate than be stuck with this because, in all honesty, I can't do anything. The problem also is because I fell on my hands in such a way that I didn't expect myself to catch, which is usually how you fall when you really fall, is that like, I think I pulled a muscle like in my thumb area because
his body's
my
your grandma what?
My
grip?
My grip, that's what I was looking for.
You're welcome.
My grip is just completely gone in my right hand for now. I can luckily move my fingers again. I couldn't open packaging, for instance, from things. That sucked the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting better. It's good. It will probably take another week before I can actually take off band-aids and stuff. For now, I have like the bandages on there because it keeps a little bit of pressure on there. Because after today, I do feel it a lot. It's like this radiating, pulsing feeling now that I have in my hands from being active all day. What's up?
Just reading comments.
Life of Mortelli? Mm-hmm. I think I said this wrong in the password. He says in the chat, I fell off my kickbike last fall when my 2 huskies decided to go left and say hi to the dog. Got nice huge bruises everywhere. I think that's Mike had the same problem with Nora when he vlogged that. I think last year around. Oh yeah. I think was it September-ish? Mm-hmm. Just before that, when he got like this harness thing and decided to pennyboard with that. After I already said to him before in the past that I didn't like the new rope that he got for her with it has like a little bit of elastic bending in there. Because Nora is one of those dogs that really, really wants really, really badly to do every single thing.
Guys,
but she will just randomly stop.
Guys, are you okay with me doing this? I mean, he's talking. I can look up and talk to you. It's just nice light right now. Normally, he just switches off everything, but now I can see everything.
Yeah, Nora's one of those dogs that really wants really bad to do every single thing, but she'll just randomly stop and then look up, and by the time that you realize that she stopped, it's usually too late. It has happened once or twice when we were looking after her or when we went pennyboarding with Mike and Brittany. Yeah, but he fell, and I think his leg was just, gammy as hell.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen it in the vlogs, and Joanne and Teresa just commented on it. Yeah, I've grown up in a family of doctors, so my dad studied medicine, but he's actually it's a dumb word in English. Alternative practitioner in English.
Yeah.
In German, it's Heilpraktiker. It's a healing practitioner. Basically everything like homeopathic, and he also does like other stuff, but
anything without actual drugs.
Yeah, that too.
So like
and surgeries and stuff.
Like physiotherapy and that kind of stuff would fall under that, I guess.
Well, he also does chiropractic and stuff like that, and acupuncture. It's just additional stuff he did
to practice right now, because I could use that. Yeah. I think I need to make an appointment at probably my doctor to see if I can do something, because my back feels so bad.
Yeah, we can.
I can manage, but man, it's not cool.
No, it's okay. She'll give you a prescription and stuff.
Yeah.
Wait. So yeah, and my grandma obviously was. Then I have dentists and whatever, and so yeah. So if you had something, either if it was like they could do something, then was also like, don't be like that. That's not that bad, and they treated it. And if it was really bad, they actually sent you to someone else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when they send you to someone else, it's kind of something they can't do, which is a bit worrisome, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was doing so much like sports activities as a kid, so I constantly had whatever injuries, or it just happens. For example, softball sliding, I mentioned that the whole side was open, and that is nasty. I mean, you can't do much with the hands, but if the whole leg is open and like open and just like constantly like wet,
it sounds very stupid, but even though these are like baby wounds compared to actual road rash that some people have, like when they fall off motorcycles and they have that, I know this sucks. I don't want to ever experience actual road rash to that degree.
Yeah.
Because, man, I think I would rather kill myself, and that sounds a little harsh, but I don't think that I would be able to survive emotionally.
The thing is, it doesn't actually... I mean, obviously, when you touch things, it hurts, but it doesn't hurt like when it's like
that's true.
There, when it's healing. The only big thing I had was my knee, and I was so unable to do things because at the beginning I wasn't allowed to stand on my leg, and I actually couldn't lift my leg. So when I had to go to the toilet, people actually had to help me put my leg on a little thing. I don't know why I did that. I could have probably sit and I don't know. It just didn't work normally sitting, and we actually had to go to the hairdresser to get my hair washed and stuff because I couldn't shower. I couldn't stand in the shower and blah blah blah. And it just kept going like that. I couldn't lift my leg alone. And I was so like disabled in that moment.
Yeah.
I was like, what's worse, having a broken arm or having a broken leg? You know, when you have broken leg, you can't move by yourself or whatever. If you have an arm, you at least can move and use one arm. But on the other hand, if you can use two arms,
knowing myself,
hands,
I think that I would rather have a broken leg.
Because you like crutches.
Well, I mean, I think that crutches and a wheelchair, depending on which one you would choose.
Bufferface?
Butterface.
Oh, bufferface.
Oh, I guess it's buffering. That's weird. No, I guess that because I do a lot of with my hands as it is, like I sit behind a desk and like edit and stuff. Yeah. Knowing this as well, like it's better now, like I said. But the last couple of days, I could barely do anything with my thumb and fingers on mainly my right hand because that was the worst. But yeah, it's I'd rather have nothing broken, to be honest.
Yeah, and of course.
I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Because that's something that I'm genuinely afraid of happening. That's probably the reason why I don't like doing extreme stuff. Mm-hmm. Knowing that there's a really great chance that I will break something or hurt myself in such a way that I don't know how to solve that.
Yeah.
Rosalind says in the chat, "Hi, Jurre and Sarah. Have you seen the video from Jess and Mike with Memphis and Nora when they did the bike run?" I think you watched it.
No, I haven't seen
it. I've watched a little bit of it because I was on my my iPad at the time. But yeah, that looks cool. I think they did like an entire trial race thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
The thing is, most of their vlogs are really long, so I'm either skipping or I just didn't have the time.
Fort Walker says, after your accident, will you remove math ninja skills from your resume? Absolutely not. I still have my math skills. It's just that I got caught off guard. Here, I do words really good.
Do you have your iPad because my phone is charging?
I have my iPad. It's hidden underneath a pile of batteries.
So,
I will grab it.
See, sometimes I wonder, maybe we should just ask my brother because he normally has the stuff for some weird reason. Today, I mean, it was his birthday, but we ended up getting presents too, which is weirdly enough a really big pile of new batteries. Rechargeable batteries, by the way.
By pile, she's not joking. He basically had like 2 boxes that he came in the room with. And he was like, so...
We could have taken more, but it's like the smaller ones, the AA's, we don't actually need.
Yeah.
And the
doesn't matter, free batteries. I'm taking it. I'm Dutch. Remember, I'm Dutch. Everything is free.
The AA's are the small ones.
AA's are smaller ones. Okay,
yeah,
so...
AA's we need.
Make an educated guess how many we actually got.
Oh, wait.
It fits in the backpack.
18.
18? Mm-hmm. I think...
Oh, did you grab more?
No.
Okay.
I didn't grab more. I'm thinking that we have...
Don't look at the bag.
I think 20. 20 plus.
All right.
Yeah, so if it's 18...
Oh, he gave us more of the small ones.
Okay, so... AA, 1.
The thing is, we were actually talking about getting more batteries, but money, right?
3. All of them are rechargeable batteries. That's really cool. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Oh yeah, I'm gonna win. 11. 12. 13.
Yeah, he grabbed more.
14. 15.
Wait, you grabbed from the second
16.
batch.
17. 18. 19. 20. So I already won. 21 packs of batteries, which actually comes in handy really well. Oh, I'm sorry, Cass. Cass is sitting on the corner of the couch looking at like his spot where there now is a pile of batteries.
Dude, he didn't want to come beforehand.
Yeah, that's true. I've been using the same pair of rechargeable batteries, like an entire set that I bought, especially for like my gear, because it needs like a specific kind of battery. Oh, you want to sit on top? Okay. And the batteries that I'm using for like the Apple mouse, for instance, they're just about to die. Charging them doesn't do anything.
AAAs you rarely need. The thing is, the last years at e-commerce, when we did the charity thing, we always had to attach batteries to the toys. Yeah. And we did have AAAs, but not as often as like AAs. Yeah. Or like even the blocks weren't that often.
There we go. Just Cass looking over there. It's like, but Mel.
Hey, Cass.
I know, I'm sorry.
Say hi.
I'm sorry.
Hi, babe. Hi.
He's like, just take the pile away. This is ridiculous, isn't it? It's absolutely ridiculous. I will do it. Okay, there we go.
The thing is, nowadays you actually have most of the batteries
built in, yeah.
So you charge.
Oh man, if I still had my Game Boy Pocket, like that stack of like AAA batteries, rechargeable, they would have come in handy, man. I've burned through, well, I don't want to say thousands, but I actively played on my Game Boy for at least a solid 6 to 7 years before it became obsolete and died. I always say that I played the lines into my, I played the pixels into my Game Boy screen, because it's like the old school like black and white screen, like actual black and white, not the green one, like actual black and white, and the pixels would just like turn up in lines and it wouldn't go away.
Wow.
After me using it nonstop almost every single day.
Okay, that does.
Joanne asks in the chat, do you think wearing a helmet in the future, if I will be wearing a helmet in the future? Actually, I refuse wearing a helmet because I'm a stupid person.
Yes, he is.
Also, I fell, and the spot that actually got scraped up wasn't even the spot that a helmet would fix.
No, the thing is, if you actually hit your head against the car, a stone, or the sidewalk, you seriously can be damaged.
I'm the worst person when it comes to this, because I can actually say from experience that a helmet has not been needed in my case. I've had an actual serious accident where I got hit by a car. My head was fine. Everything else was...
Yeah, but that was because you were lucky.
No.
Yes.
It's called smart.
No, it's not smart. It's just lucky. Don't you remember that interview with that stunt thing where she actually bounced with her head against the floor, whatever, in the elevator, whatever that was?
No, it was like an escalator.
Or escalator. I wasn't really listening, but that's something, you know?
Yeah, but that's a different thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, I'm taking it away, Cass. Don't worry.
If you fall while being active in the traffic, you can hit your head on so many things. And having a bit of cushion, I think, would help.
But in the meantime, you look like an idiot.
Yes.
No, I do agree.
Cool
I do agree that helmets, depending on what kind of helmets, they absolutely make a difference. But
why do you think I was wearing a helmet at the beginning?
No, actually, and I will still do it. I agree. I am thinking about getting like those longboarding gloves that have like a puck on there for doing certain things.
See, that might have actually helped.
Yeah, absolutely. You have like the actual rollerblading ones that have like a piece of plastic in them, which is the spots that I fell on. So apparently those would have actually helped. But I mean, from all the times that I've been fine, this was just a freak accident, kind of. Oh my god, I don't know what to do with all these batteries, Sarah. I really don't know. There's so many. Are you happy now? Guess has reclaimed his spot back on the couch. Oh my god,
it's so cute.
Oh, don't take the batteries though. No kitty.
Yeah, I would definitely, if you go for at a certain speed, I would definitely use a helmet.
For instance, those boosted boards, those electronic boards that like
in New York when they go between the cars.
Yeah,
I would definitely wear a helmet.
He no longer wears the helmet either. That in his case, I find it stupid. I agree, because that's like a level. I think on the penny board in kilometers, like the average speeds that you can make without feeling uncomfortable is between 22 kilometers per hour and like 25. That's like the very normal speeds that you can take. At least I can take without feeling
the
like...
The issue is I don't totally understand it, because when I go skiing, I will not wear a helmet because I've been on skis since I was 3. And I'm so, like, safe and whatever that I would not wear a helmet despite how fast it is. Yep. And sometimes I'm like, okay, if I fall now, I'm dead because it's I can't control this. You know, when you just do... We call it actually Schuss, which means shot. Mm-hmm. Which is so weird. Well, how's it called in English if you just go, like... You don't do curves or anything, you could just go straight down.
I don't know.
Guys, how's it called? When you're going skiing and you just go straight down.
I'm not a ski person. I come from a country that doesn't even have hills.
But you always go to the Alps and annoy all other people, you Dutch people from Holland.
Mortelli says in the chat, I actually started using a helmet. Now I started biking with the dog. It feels really weird because... I haven't used one in like 15 years. I've never worn a helmet, and I will probably refuse to wear one unless it goes to a degree that I'm like, I should probably.
In the Netherlands, everybody's on bike and not wearing helmets. In Germany, the only people that are actually on bikes are the ones on the weekend who do it for like vacation type sports workout thingies. So you see a lot of people, but we also wear helmets. I think we actually have to wear helmets because one of our politicians actually fell and hit his head and
I can
whatever. So I think there is a law in place. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely recommended to wear a helmet. And therefore, I have a racing bike. So I'm wearing a helmet when I'm actually, even if I'm driving slow, I'm wearing a helmet.
You look lovely, dorky.
I don't care.
I still love you, though.
I don't
That's
care.
the most important
part. I like being a dork.
Fort Walder says in the chat, freak accident as opposed to a regular accident. In this case, I would see this as a freak accident because I should technically not have been able to fall if I had known that the car would have come closer. Like in a regular accident, you see it coming. I didn't. So I just call it a freak accident in this case.
I don't know.
But then again, an accident is an accident.
I just wanted to say, it doesn't matter where the traffic is coming from.
Suzanne says in the chat, I always use a helmet on my bike, mostly because I bike on very uneven, rocky terrain. Which is one of those times that I'm like, that's a legitimate case. Plus, there is so much traffic. In the US, absolutely, I agree. The traffic...
In the US, I'm not even sure if I would use the road because they don't care.
I mean, I have, and you will survive, but you don't feel comfortable. At least not... in the places in Columbus where I've cycled so far. Juice says in the chat, neither Casey or Jesse wears a helmet or wear a helmet when they ride those motorized boards. I mean, in all honesty, the same thing. The longboards are actually fairly safe because they're very long and wide. You can roll over so many things without actually ever really feeling it. So, from experience, because we have a longboard now, I understand, but yeah, the first week when you had it, the first day when you unpacked the first one that you ever gotten or bought, when you're like, oh my god, this is just so unsafe.
Yeah,
I agree. But they go full speed, so in this case, they probably should wear helmets. If you do it like us, we just randomly just cruise, actually go out for enjoyment, not to go crazy extreme, then I can see that.
I miss being in like the Columbus area for just going out with even with the inline skates. I don't have to necessarily go out.
I've been saying that in the vlog nonstop every single time that I take the penny board out. I'm like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I like being able to go downhill more than normal. It's really good training to get used to hills because one thing that's very scary, and in the vlog, I've shown it once where I go down I call it like the dip. It's like one road that goes down and back up. So it's one of the safest roads you can take when it comes to actual length. Because if you have to stop, it's basically the hill back up that stops you if you're going full speed.
That's the only time when I actually am going downhill if I see that it goes up on the other side and there's no car from the side.
It's the same thing.
Otherwise, I'm not doing downhill because I can't brake.
Going down and into a curve, as long as I know what's next, I will take it. Like the route that we did in the trail that we did in Dublin, for instance, that we took Mike, Brittany, and
the rest of the gang
with us. That was perfect because I've done it multiple times. I know what I can expect, and there are like 2 or 3 spots that I'm like, ooh, kind of scary. But once you've done that once or twice and you know what to expect, you get better at anticipating what's going on.
Also, guys, I don't know if you've seen it. Kat loves
Cass is like running around with this crack pillow, I think.
Kat loves that segment. She always comments on it. After our outro, there is like 3 years ago, like a time travel vlog bit from 3 years ago. And sometimes it's like, oh, that was just yesterday. It feels like yesterday. And sometimes, oh my God, this is like ages ago. Or you look at the hair. For example, I have the red hair with a blonde.
For you, it's definitely a massive change. The biggest difference for me is that I started to grow out my mustache more. Like I've
and I actually was really skinny, like where I wanted to be.
I rewatched the 1,000 Days of Nerdish video that I made for the thousandth vlog that we've done.
We had 1,200 right now.
Yeah, so it's been 200 vlogs since the last time that I did it, which was like just before we left the US last year. And it's kind of funny to see like how things changed and appearance-wise, mainly appearance-wise, like how we've changed like over the time. And just seeing like the things that we've done, because it's a highlight thing. I've cut out things that weren't interesting, for instance. Like halfway through, I couldn't find all the vlogs on the hard drive at that point, and I was editing for at least a few days where I was like, I just need to finish this. I'm so done. I just want to finish the videos, because we were doing a second for every single vlog. And if I had used every single vlog, it would probably be a third longer.
Well, I started with every second. So.
Yeah, you did like the first minute, and I think I finished. I think it's like 5 minutes long in total.
Yeah, otherwise it would be like 12 minutes or something.
Yeah, so it's like at least 60 vlogs per minute. No, yeah, per minute. So that. Yeah. Yeah, so
well, you still see the changes and stuff.
Yeah, no, like the major, because there are like little parts, like the current moments where there are not much things happening.
I wish, for example, there was a bit more of the fiesta movement, because I was a lot on the road. I wish there would be a bit more footage of that. Yeah. But in the end, it kind of shows what we did, and it's kind of cool. Yeah. It's definitely cool.
Yeah, I like that.
And yesterday I was actually looking through old pictures, because I was curious how long my hair was and stuff, and I realized my hair was actually that long, I think, or at least.
Do you know how you can solve that problem? By not cutting your hair? Yeah,
I had to cut it because
I know
it was really bad at the back. Anyways, I cut it probably a bit too much, and I also realized 3 years ago, if you watch the vlog, it's almost that long already. So if 3 years longer, it should be like this, you know. So I'm kind of annoyed that it's not as long as it could be. It also
doesn't help that you color your hair. I know. Usually kills hair fairly fast.
I know. I actually want my normal color, but that would take me 3 years to actually get to that length.
Oh, also my hair is so much shorter.
Although
I have less poof.
It grows like crazy. I mean, I got this Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, I think it was like
Tuesday. It's already out like
day before
4 millimeters or something. Yeah, no less.
Yeah, it's funny when because she still has like little burn marks on her skull, on their like skin. You have to put a little bit of like special lotion on there in order to help that heal a little bit thing is, it doesn't hurt. By the way, it doesn't hurt at all. Not just itchy, I guess.
No, it's not actually.
Okay. Oh my God, Cass. Oh, you're good idiots. Cass is behind the curtain, and I would love to show you, but I put my iPad away.
Look at him, he's so cute. Look at him. Hey,
He's up to something, though.
No, he's cute.
He's up to something.
He hasn't decided yet what he's gonna destroy, but...
Yeah.
Things that happen off screen. How are you guys?
Yeah, talk a little bit about you guys. What have you guys done this week? Because I always ask in the post chat after the stream what you guys are up to, and most of the time there's at least something happening. Yeah. Interesting happening.
I have a question. So after this, and I'm not sure, maybe I'm doing a quick Daenerys costume for Game of Thrones, but I want to move on to Star Wars after I'm done with the Viking stuff. So I did want to do a Rey, but everybody has done Rey, and I feel like... You could
maybe do something with the new Rogue One.
Yeah, I looked at the Rogue One.
Because that has a female lead, and honestly, yes. I think it looks really cool.
Yes, but it's more like... I can do that, but it's not like... like a Jedi or something. It's just like, you know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing that, but I'm also thinking about maybe doing a Sith costume.
Sith Lord.
Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? What should I do? Or should I do a Padme?
English heart march?
English heart march, sorry.
What are you doing, you idiot? Stay out of my bag.
He's so cute. Hey, babe, come. Grab him.
I know you want to go. Here. Nope.
All right, guys. Thank you for being so understanding that I can do this while we're doing this. So this is parts of the back. So I'm attaching the second part here.
Looks good. I'm legitimately impressed every time that I see something new.
Something I make?
Yeah, no.
People are always like, I'm impressed. I'm like, you don't...
No, here's the thing. No, here's the thing. Like, there's so much shitty, half-ass cosplay that is praised for being mediocre that seeing someone actually... Because we actually saw a photo of, I think it was Atlanta, right?
Yep.
Where someone had also made the Assassin's Creed outfit that you had made.
Oh, God.
From the...
if it didn't have the elements...
From Elise.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, if you hadn't made it, I would have said, okay, that looks fair. It looks good. In contrast, it looks pretty okay. But knowing how much detail work you've put into it, I'm like, I can tell how certain things are either botched because the person didn't know how to do a certain technique, or didn't have the correct type of fabric, or didn't have the correct type of thing in order to make it how it's supposed to be done, or how to make it look proper. Because a lot of the cosplay you see is like very thin fabrics, because it is really warm in convention halls. Ooh, I will let you go, grumble puss. But yeah, it's such a big difference seeing the type of work that Sara does and how much work it actually is compared to some like, I don't want to call them high end, but like the more high profile cosplayers who look like, oh yeah, I made this like last night. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. I know that's not possible. Knowing that it takes at least a week to make a decent, good costume, and like even when you do a half-ass one, it takes you at least 2-3 days of non-stop sewing with the machine.
Yeah. The thing is,
but you also know already what you're doing because you're using either an existing pattern or something.
I have to admit, I'm actually pretty fast when it comes to sewing. I'm always surprised.
Yeah.
Same with, I started chainmail and everybody was like, why are you so fast? And I'm like, I'm just doing this. And
it's busy work.
Yeah, it's, I basically learned like knitting and all that stuff. I don't want to call it shit because it was actually like, I liked doing it when I was a kid because people taught me. Not even in school, I think. We don't actually learn that in school.
No.
So I did learn that. And when you learn it as a kid, it's just ingrained. So you just do that.
Does it sound silly to me if I would like there to be like a part of your education when you learn how to sew on a button, how to sew, like just basic stuff. Like people talk about
I agree.
Like there should be a school part where you learn how to do taxes.
Survive.
Like how to be a proper adult. It sounds stupid, but no one actually learns that. I still don't know how to do it. Like our American taxes are done by professional people. Well, okay, are done by professional people. That's what I'm saying.
They have to be done. But to be honest, that stuff is just super confusing and weird. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, they kind of need someone like a usability expert like me to go through this stuff and actually make it user-friendly so everybody can actually do it. But then you actually eliminate the job of an accountant and whatever, so you don't actually want that.
And also, like, in this case, I am more than happy to give these people the work that I don't understand or want to be able to do because I simply don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. Also, in this case, they pretty much got us more money back every time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So this is the system. This is the second year that we've had our taxes done by the same person, by the way. And this year it took a little bit longer because we're not in the US, so we can't actually physically show up and give whatever she needed. But
she only needed 2 numbers, which I gave her.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting that because we were already in their system, so everything that they needed was pretty much already there. But yeah, I just like that kind of stuff. It's I'm happy that exists.
No, it's like if everybody could do everybody, you could if you have to be in court, whatever, you could be your own lawyer. But no, we don't have to. You could bring your trash to the whatever.
Yep.
That's why they're. And okay, it's the same. For example, you don't want to pay for that, obviously, because you're like, I probably could do it myself.
Yeah.
But it's the same like photography for weddings or whatever. I probably could take the camera and take pictures myself. But if that person is there all day long, they have to edit, they have to do stuff, even for photos. It's not just like click, you know?
It's the same.
They need to be paid.
I hate it when people grab their iPhones and like, oh yeah, I can make a photo of the bride and groom really quick when in actuality I'm trying to get a good shot where people aren't in the way. Because that's the hardest thing about weddings, by the way. Other people who are attending the wedding are constantly in the way of trying to get a good shot. Either video or photo, it doesn't matter. And like I always try, or we in this case, always try to make like a good deal with the photographer or the videographer. In this case, usually photography because we've done more video than photos. And I always say like, if you need a shot, and I know you need certain shots, let me know when we are in the way because we need to be up close constantly because we don't have the option of putting a big zoom lens on there.
I have to go to the restroom.
You have to go to the restroom?
Yes.
Okay, I will read some things. But yeah, it's weddings are hard and difficult. Joanne, ooh, don't move everything around. I just see all the lights. She's like, woo. Joanne. Yeah, Joanne says in the chat. Unfortunately, there are English is hard once again. Unfortunately, there are some mean people who purposely try to knock down people biking, skating, pennyboarding, or walking. So I feel going against traffic is safe, seeing what comes towards you. Actually, I'm not sure if the Dutch thing is still like that, but a lot of the Dutch runners who just like go out and run, who do that on a normal basis and have to run on the street, because we have bicycle lanes on the side of the roads. They usually go on the other side of the road in order to make sure that they see it. But the problem, like I said here, is the roads are so tight that there isn't really any way 2 cars will be able to pass each other in the same road because cars are parked on either side of the road in villages, at least here. So I didn't see the car and he just drove off. So that kind of sucked. Teresa's is in the chat. I've watched Adam Savage, who actually does Mythbusters in the past, and actually has a YouTube channel for a long time already, called Test It. YouTube videos on his cosplay costumes, and it takes him weeks, years even, in this case, and I know that because I've been watching for a while, to make the ones that he wears. Also, Adam Savage is like the perfect example of that. He's someone who will go out of his way to look for the specific tiny little detail, or will have it made specifically for him in order to make it the most authentic thing. And his thing is mostly like spacesuits. I loved his suit that he made from Alien. It's like the big spacesuit, and it's like, oh yeah, like pieces are like Japanese inspired samurai styling, and other pieces are from this thing. It's really interesting to see those things. Like, as I admire what she does with her cosplay, because I am not able to do all those things, even though, I mean, I would be able to technically be able to do this if I tried to actually focus for longer than a minute. But yeah, just knowing how much time and effort she puts in these things, it's admiring to see. Suzanne is in the chat. I learned the basics of sewing, knitting, crocheting, but I never found a passion for it. Instead, I found more of a passion for crafting with beads, wires, and a polymer clay. That's more like me. I like to work with my hands more as like... I would probably love to do woodworking. It's kind of expensive, but I would like to do some more woodworking and more... metal work is a little harder because you need like certain tools that are a lot more expensive than woodworking tools. But yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I actually watch... That's like the joke that I sometimes do with Sarah. Sarah just comes into the room from time to time and she's like, what are you watching now? I just happen to be watching certain woodworking channels or certain shop channels who work with like certain types of materials, for instance, or next week I will be watching some lockpicking videos. There's like niche channels out there that I love so much because of the fact that they do just one thing and they do it really, really well. Juice is in the chat. Did you see Adam Savage's Hellboy? Actually, yes. Both costumes that he's made, I've seen. The last one was the comic book version, I think. I wasn't really a big fan of the top part, but it looked cool. I like that. Joanne asks in the chat, Sarah, have you thought about renting out your costumes?
Well,
actually, we have thought about it in the past with other costumes that aren't actually like cosplay costumes yet. Because most of the cosplay costumes are specifically made to your size and like specifically made for you.
Yeah. I mean, I've been obviously thinking about selling. I did think about renting like costumes out, but the issue is we are stuck here right now. I don't want to start it here. And the US. We had a question earlier with the US when we can go back and stuff. So we've mentioned it a couple of times. I'm not sure if you're still there. To answer your question real quick, we are both technically banned from the US, to say it like that.
As tourists.
As tourists.
We're not banned, but we're...
If we try to enter the US right now, they will put us in jail.
We don't have access to the standard travel visa that you can get for like 90 days. We no longer have access to that.
So what we need is either a green card, work visa, or some sort of other visa. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we can't enter the US, which sucks because 1, we have our stuff there. 2, we want to live there. 3, I think 2 of the weddings already happened. We wanted to go to the theater. English hard, sorry.
Yeah. Well, one was the one from Luke.
Yeah, which was the most important one.
Yeah, which was supposed to be the one that I would actually have loved to have attended because they're really good friends of ours.
Plus, we wanted to do obviously videos and photos for them.
Yeah, as like a gift. Spooky asks in the chat, "What's your favorite woodworking channel?" I really like woodworking for mere mortals because of how it's done. It's very simple, very easy. I believe that he always has put up all the schematics and things. Obviously the more old school stuff from like Jurre stuff, for instance, who does both metalwork and woodworking stuff and like plastic type things with I forgot. There's like a 3D printing channel that does things with 3D printing and then incorporating those in like traditional woodworking things. There are like a bunch of them.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know them off the top of my head.
Talking about 3D printing, I wanted to do that like years ago already for cosplay, so if it's happening with a job in America, I'm definitely looking into that. Mm-hmm. So that's gonna come.
Suzanne asked in the chat, do you ever repurpose cheap or free furniture?
All the time.
We will answer in a sec. I do that sometimes, and I always find it so relaxing. Actually, yes, in the US, we went to the Goodwill in the first months that we were there, and we bought most of the furniture and additional things we needed there because I didn't really feel the need to buy new for some things.
The other problem is if you're moving to the US and you don't have anything and you have to pay for a car. Yeah, I actually had to get a loan from the company I was working for, so they basically took money out of my paycheck every month
until it was paid off. Yeah,
until the car was paid off, and up to that point you don't actually have money to buy new furniture. So
yeah. I mean, we were lucky that the furniture.
Well, we mainly, if we buy chairs, we use them as chairs. If we buy a desk, we use them as desks.
Well, the desks that we gave a couple of desks to Luke, by the way. Yeah. The desks that were downstairs, I think with 6 of them in total.
They were more like workbenches.
Basically they were used. Originally, they were used as like writing desks, I guess, like.
But as soon as we, or however it goes, have a proper thing. There will be so much stuff happening. I mean, even with repurposing.
One of the things I want to do is like
really cool
for
IKEA hacks.
Yeah, for your that's a whole different thing. For your crafting room, like I want to do certain things that I've seen from other workshops and things, in order to make it more ergonomic and more easier and stuff.
Yeah, and just
mainly the organizing part. And I've already did a pretty decent job in the US when I started trying to sort out the things. But yeah, repurposing the IKEA things.
The thing is, I love Pinterest, and every time I see something, it's like, I want.
I guess the biggest thing that I'm a big fan of, I like LED lights. I've been using them for way longer than they've been popular. They've been easier to find nowadays because they're a lot more available everywhere. I think on Amazon you can get like a full set of string for like $25 nowadays. So that's a fair price, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm. I recently found some for $6.
Yeah. So Sarah actually bought
they actually have
two sets of, I think it's 1.5 meters or a meter of LED light, which is white-ish colored. It's like a very decent white. And since I would love to put a strip all the way behind the couch in order to light the couch back up again.
But the thing is, we don't want to spend money here. That's why we're not investing in things. Plus,
but that kind of stuff I can actually use because LEDs are the same voltage anywhere. I just have to get a different adapter for it.
It's the same. Someone in the comments actually was like, "Hey, Jurre should have bought the bike from Aldi." Yeah, the thing is, we can't.
We have a bike.
Yeah, I have a bike from way before, but we can't just spend $299, which is sad. Plus, what do we do with the bike? Then we have to sell it here.
The same thing that we do with the bike that is currently in storage.
No, we don't put it in storage here. I'm not intending on
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. But I wanted to say something. I don't know what I was going to say, but I want to do more LED lighting, but actual proper LED lighting. Some of the furniture things that we have in the US, because I have 2 strips. One, you saw the one behind the couch. I had one behind the TV. I had 2 little strips behind the cabinet from the TV where it was on. The office, of course, had LED lights. And I would just put LED lights everywhere because 1, they're fairly cheap when it comes to the actual use of electricity. 2, they don't get hot. And 3, if you can dim them, you can actually set them to the perfect setting. So I love that so much. What's wrong? It doesn't do the...
No, it's a different thread.
Yeah.
I don't have the same thread anymore.
It's thicker or something?
No, I have to take it double. Probably not, but I think it's better if I take it double. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, the furniture we've been looking at. Oh, that's something I want to do. Like that's cool about talking. That I kind of saw some of those woodworking channels who do that. I want to, when we get the chance to buy a proper bed frame in the future, because we need a bed when we move back to the US. Hopefully, we need a new bed. And I looked at an IKEA bed that has like a really big back frame, and I want to put in like proper lighting, USB plugs that are plugged in, so you just have to plug it in and that kind of stuff. So that's more electronics, I guess. Oh, that's like besides woodworking, like that's the kind of other kind of stuff I like. Watching, working with like Arduinos and like Raspberry Pi kind of things. Those are like the smaller projects. I'm terrible with coding. So I would probably have to repurpose coding that someone else has come up with. But I want to do something with that in order to make it like better than it was before. I like that.
So Teresa asks, Sarah, have you seen the Build-A-Bear Ewok? Yep, I have. I think you sent me the link or someone else sent me the link. So that's very cute. Are you ever worried about the stuff you have in the storage in the US?
Absolutely, but luckily we have
Luke.
Luke.
And no. Well, Luke has a key.
Yeah, Luke has access.
The only thing which annoys me, because we actually picked the storage when it was close to, was cheap-ish, but they went up and it costs us $75 per month now, which I think is a bit too much. And
for the size, yeah, I agree.
Well, if we had the money, I wouldn't worry, but
yeah,
it's
but
just like...
in the end, like it's still cheaper than having to ship it. And since we didn't have the time to sell things...
Well, it depends. I mean, if we can't go back, it's not cheaper. It's just costing us a lot of money.
If something like that would happen, then clearly we would do something with the stuff that's stored. But that's something that right now we don't have to worry about yet. But yeah, sure. I'm worried about the stuff. I don't know how.
Well, the winter's over now, so the worst part is over. But
yeah, I'm more worried about moisture. Yeah. But inside it looked fairly okay. It like dripped one of the days before we left, and it looked fine to me. the most important stuff I already wrapped in foil and everything. I taped everything off.
But you know how it worked with your hands? It still gets moist.
Yeah, but it like if moist is the problem, then you're screwed anyways. But I'm more worried about like damage from it falling over.
What I'm annoyed about, I mean, I grabbed some parts of my equal costume, but the 2 costumes that are in the US still, I'd love to have here work on them.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't want to redo, like, make them new.
Yep.
And right now it's like Dragon Con is in August, September, actually first weekend in September, and I'm not even trying to think about it. I'm just pushing it out. I just hope I'm in the US, but I don't want to think about it. But I could already make the costumes for it, and I'm like...
Yeah, I know, I can see that.
The main issue is if I focus on Dragon Con, it's not going to happen. It's also like the last chance we have to get back to the US, and it's like... I don't want to think about not being able to ever be in the US. Yep.
I know how you feel. I love that you already spelled your name out a little bit more because it makes it easier. I'm just going to call you Wombaps because I refuse to read the middle part. So Wombaps or just Baps, depending on what you like. In the first few years of high school, we did woodwork, metalwork, cooking, sewing, and picking. Before picking subjects to continue in the later years. I like that. I believe that at least I got first aid. I got first aid in school, so I was certified from a fairly young age, at least.
We had that too, but it was like voluntary.
I had like fairly decent like. I wouldn't more call it crafting than anything, because we don't have access really to like big tools like a table saw, for instance, would be completely insane because students, like kids, are absolutely the worst thing to be around. And I know that because I've been one, and I've been working with them in the past as an IT person, so I know how terrible these kids are. And if something can go wrong, they will make sure that goes wrong. But I've never cooked so far I know in school, which I would have loved, actually.
No.
I would have probably excelled at that.
Well, everything that was like that was like a voluntary thing. Or they had like a week where you can test stuff. So I actually learned sewing technically in a week.
Yeah.
We had a model show. Yeah. It was terrible. That was when I used a sewing machine first. But we also had like the first aid thing. We had a how can you explain that? It was basically a room where if something happened, people were brought to, but 2, it was attended by us. So we all
like a first aid like nurse office type thing.
No, there was no nurse. That's the thing. But
but
there
like
were
the
other like pupils. That sounds
students.
Like students. Let's call it students. Like a team of students that's actually like responsible. So there were always like 2 people from one class and then other. So there were basically shifts. So I picked it when you get called out of class, obviously when something happens. Cool. 2, I'm a person that runs towards the fire and tries to rescue people, or if someone falls down or whatever, I try to help. Yeah. So I'm one like that crazy person that always wants to look, but also wants to help.
And in this case, also wants to make an Instagram of it.
Yeah, back then, no. But, so obviously you can't really do anything, but you can do the first aid stuff and then call ambulance if necessary, or just call a teacher or whatever. Yeah. So it's kind of, was kind of cool. But we had one incident where I was, best friends, whatever. Anyways, long story to that, but basically my best friend back then and I were on duty or whatever, or we were walking outside and there was an old woman. We don't even know if it was a woman. It was wearing a wig. I would have said it was dressed as a woman, so I I tried to identify as a woman.
The outside made it seem as if it was a female.
I can't tell. Old person, really old, and collapsed. And my friend actually did like mouth to mouth and whatever. Yeah, and I basically ran
CPR.
off and
hid in a corner.
No, I actually tried to there was a doctor's office around to get him to help and call the ambulance and stuff. They came, but I'm not sure if that person survived, and I felt really bad for my friend being alone, but someone had to get it because there were no cell phones at that time. So that happened.
I can understand that.
But that was the only time when we actually had to do the CPR. Is it called CPR in English? Yeah.
Suzanne says in the chat, I managed to furnish my entire small apartment for like $30, which is actually great.
That is actually really good.
So I totally get not wanting to spend lots of money on furniture. We got really lucky. We had to spend some money because we didn't have a choice. We got most of the stuff
from one guy.
And
he was so awesome.
Our bed, the couch.
Seriously, if I have ever money, I want to give him just money.
Yeah, the couch might have been the best price to couch. This couch, besides the fact that it's starting to look a little crappy from us living on it and having cats, like having a leather couch and cat. Well, leather couch and cats is that cats have claws. But I mean, the couch itself is awesome. That thing is just super comfy. We got like the table, the coffee table, I think 2 of the dressers that are now in the bedroom. That cabinet over there.
The cabinet.
That one
that was from my dad. I think.
That's from your dad.
Anyways, it was a lot of
the
stuff.
Shelving over there.
And the lamp and stuff all included into the couch because he was just renovating his stuff and he needed to...
He was like, I guess that his first thought
was... Oh, and it started off that we were buying his bed.
Yeah. Because we needed a bed frame.
We needed a bed. And I mean, I could have probably gotten it a bit cheaper. But in the end, with the whole deal, we got...
We probably saved at least $1,000 worth of...
Yeah, even more.
Money.
If we would have bought it new, we would have saved $3,000 or something.
I would have gone for like a simple, like 3-person, 2-person couch, and that would have been enough.
I mean, we got really lucky. I mean, we got stuff from my dad. We got stuff from my ex, which is weird because we get along well with him, and he's like, "Hey, I have 2 desks. Do you need them?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The 2 desks that
which are really
awesome.
By the way.
I took the lights from Dutchland, so I was
the
happy.
Shelves over there, the white shelves in the other room, and then a friend from softball back then, she's like, "Hey, I still have an old TV," which made
me incredibly happy at the time.
I was trying to get him a TV when he was working at Amazon because they had lightning deals.
The BenQ screen that we have, which is a really nice LED screen, by the way. It might not be fancy for like high-end gaming, but it's a really nice bright screen with the correct amount of light that it takes, and I love it. And that would have been my TV for gaming because I really just want to watch stuff on it and game from time to time if I have something to play.
Well, anyway, so he was working there, so we never used that, which annoys me. We could have gotten like 10 or 20% of it.
Yeah.
But during that time, they had little lightning deals, so I was really looking to get him a TV for Christmas.
It might have been that I wasn't even allowed to use that on deals.
Oh, on deals? No, I don't
because it was like a very specific
Well, you never really figured out how to do it, so we never...
I don't know. No one really knew how to do that. Yeah. And I know that it was talked about because hey, you can use it, but it's very weird and specific when they allowed it. So
I'm almost done. Yeah.
Awesome. That legitimately looks good. And I don't know...
Oh.
I think on camera it looks...
I actually wear blue underneath, so you can see.
I guess on camera it looks a little bit more extreme, detailed. In person, you can the ridges are a little bit more... are deeper. But it looks good, man.
Well, it should... Well, should look like.
With leather, it will bend out.
No, the leather has holes in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's leather on leather. Flat, it's not folding in.
That's what I'm saying. This is back and it's sticking out. Ow.
But the stitching is exactly the same.
Yeah, it's good.
So the stitching of the leather, as soon as I have punched it, should be super easy and super fast. But I need to figure out if it actually fits me. And that's why I'm doing this. Has anyone replied to the... Star Wars costume question?
I don't think so because I did talk, but I'm not sure if I didn't see a new comment about that.
I'm really not sure if I should do an Ewok costume because
no, you're not an Ewok from Star Wars. You're my little Ewok, and
whatever that means.
I have a I do need an artist rendering at some point, I guess. I have to, but that's the thing for the future. I do want to make avatars or have it made, make cartoonish avatars of us for logos and for pictures and thumbnails and stuff. But man, that's one of those things. Rosalind asks if I'm still working at Amazon. No, I've not been working at Amazon since January. It was only temporary, and I said that at the time as well. I don't think that I would have been able to survive up till then, because I saw a comment in the past like, yeah, that I was moaning about my feet. I don't think that anyone understands that walking 20 kilometers to 30 kilometers a day.
That's half a marathon per day.
That's pretty much half a marathon, and you're walking non-stop. It's not fun in that way. It definitely was interesting, and I absolutely look back at the time that I've worked there as something that I enjoyed.
By the way, what people don't understand, my mom doesn't understand, because she always gives me like job ideas for him. I'm like, he has skills. He can actually do a proper job.
Yeah, it's just that the language part is a problem for
We can move to the Netherlands. I want to move away from here. I don't give a fuck.
Okay. But yeah, it was a temporary job. And I mean, if they would call or send a letter like, hey, would you willing to work for a little while? I would totally do that. But they basically fired 90% of the people who worked over the period. They didn't
fire them.
They didn't.
They were employed for 6 weeks for the Christmas period.
Fired. Let's just do between quotation marks. Fired. It's kind of like that. No. Derek asks in the chat, are you tempted to buy the PS VR gear? I've been looking at the Vive, and that seems to have a lot of very promising things. VR is one of those things, like, I have not had a personal experience with the Oculus, for instance. I've only heard it by proxy and by seeing other people use it.
If the Scout device were in business.
Yeah, actually, that was like the first,
the
DK1, I think, that they had. But I'm very curious how the PlayStation VR is gonna work, because the PlayStation is a very underpowered machine compared to the Oculus VR and the HTC Vive, like what it needs in order to run properly. So I'm very curious how exactly they're managing to get the power in order to make it run, because you need like a very high frame rate and a constant frame rate. I think it's like 90 frames per second in order to keep up with your eyes without getting nauseous or like it looking really weird and unnatural. But man, I've seen so many cool like tech demos on the Vive that look incredibly cool. And as soon as we either find someone who has one and is willing to let me put it on my face, I will tell you if I'm actually tempted. Because so far, I'm more of a screen person, and I like to sit down with a controller. I don't like motion gaming at all. I think that...
Yeah, I don't think VR really
which game? There are a couple of PlayStation games that have like this weird interactive element that just... Oh, The Last of Us has like the flashlight you use. Like sometimes you have to shake the controller or like slap it on your hand in order to make the batteries work again. We have a bunch of those, so I'm good.
To be honest, I think VR is a really bad idea for you. Especially, imagine you're standing somewhere looking down. You will just freak out.
Oh, well, here's the thing. That's the thing I'm wondering about. Because I don't like heights and depths at all. Like, it freaks me out to a degree that I'm not paralyzed yet.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
I've not experienced...
The issue is you can't take it off because you're just paralyzed.
Well, I have not had the completely frozen part. I usually am someone... I preemptively stop myself from experiencing that fear. I don't know if VR has the same experience, because I am physically on the ground. I know where I am physically. So I don't know if I can let that suspense of disbelief so far away that I don't...
I'm pretty sure.
You've seen videos and like gifs of people wearing the headset and like when they're on a roller coaster or something, like a tech demo type deal, where the thing goes down and they completely freak out because physically they can't comprehend what's going on with their visual.
That's what I think is going to happen with you, because it's still a sense.
If that is the case, then VR is going to be awesome, because that means that my body is absolutely willing to believe the fact that what is on screen, as shitty as it looks still, because VR doesn't look great half the time. They're like very basic shapes, very basic graphics. The only games that I've seen that looked good is like Elite Dangerous, for instance, which is like a space simulator, but you're sitting, so you're not actively moving around. I'm curious. I'm very curious.
But as soon as it's like motion, like
because I know you will probably feel sick, I guess.
From what?
From if you would have to put an Oculus on.
Why?
I don't know. You seem like someone who gets like motion sick. You don't?
I do roller coasters.
Okay, no, yeah, but the motion sickness doesn't have to do with roller coasters specifically, but
I only get really motion sick if I work in the car in the back, like a long time. See, then I get motion sick.
I don't have that problem, so I am genuinely curious how I physically
I normally don't get sick in the car. I'm just saying you would get sick too if you would do that in a car the whole time.
I'm too scared to use a needle in the car while moving. But yeah, I would love to test that out if I get the chance, and especially with the Vive and the now released Oculus. I'm curious in a year from now how better they've become. I've seen like the Microsoft HoloLens. I don't like augmented reality that much, especially because as it is now, it's very low end, small, tiny little screen that actually is visible. I don't know. I don't think that augmented reality is for me. It's more for a business type thing, for like technical things, for medical purposes. Still, I'm very curious if I get the chance ever to use that.
I think VR will be awesome at some point.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
The same with 3D printing, but it's just not there yet. It's way too complicated. Otherwise, everybody would have a 3D printer
that's the thing, because I don't want to go into much of a technical detail. And we're over more than an hour now, so we should slowly ramp down. What?
I think it's a good stream for
now. Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. But, just the technical aspect, like the specs you need in order to run VR on the degree that it makes it more believable and more smooth and like comfortable for a longer period of time. I guess that we need to go for at least a year, 2, 3 before you get like
that is a difference. What the hell?
What
the fuck?
What's the difference? Oh, it's going sideways?
Yeah, I don't know why actually.
Yeah, you cut it at the same length. That's good to know that you need to make it longer then. Like, give it more space at the bottom.
No, I think I actually can cut it here.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Anyway, sorry.
But what I was saying, like that, I'm pretty sure that we need at least 2 to 3 years for actual consumer level hardware to catch up and be more available to the consumers in order to run those things for a decent price. Because in order to run VR properly now, I think you need at least a $1,200 rig that is video card capable mainly and like CPU, because that stuff, it's hard. Like it ruins your machine. Ortelli says, I have Gear VR and I got it with the Samsung S7. I haven't even tested it yet. Put it on your face directly. Put it on your face, because I've actually seen videos of people with the Gear VR as well. And apparently that already has like a fairly okay experience. Have you seen the roller coasters that they adapted? So there's probably some of you guys know that there's a couple of roller coasters that are no longer really interesting for people to go on as an actual roller coaster. So they adapted it. Oh, hey, there's a little kitty cat over here. Hey, he's like, give me food, please. Hi. Give me the num-nums. But there's I'm not sure if it's multiple ones in the US and in the UK and so on, but I believe there are at least like 2 that I know of that now use the Gear VR headset.
Yes, I need to not make a knot.
They use the Gear VR in order to make the roller coaster like more of like an adventure. Kind of like those. Have you ever been on vacation or something where you had like those really big pods that had like a 3D like motion thing going on?
I could wear it in the front too.
Yeah, actually, that looks like an armor piece.
It does. Well, see.
Like a chest plate.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, but it's for the back, so it should actually be up here.
Yeah. But yeah, that seems interesting. I hate roller coasters, so probably that's never going to happen for me. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm legitimately curious how my physical body will react.
That's awesome.
Russell asked in the chat how my German class is going. I haven't been for 3 days because I physically couldn't go there, and I was recovering from the other ones. But I will go back on Monday, so that's tomorrow.
Oh, I know what I did. I'm an idiot.
What did you do?
Well, I started from the bottom. I probably have to take this off and... So I don't want to.
Okay. Oh, in order to make this curve nice. Or better.
No, I attached it here because this part was longer than here. But the distance, that distance needs to be the same on that side.
I see that. Okay. But yeah, I will go back on Monday again. It's been okay. I we are starting to get some basic grammar things. She made the joke that it's like, what did you call it, kindergarten? Or like elementary school. Yeah, that's the word. It feels a little bit like elementary school, but the thing is because...
Say something in German.
Hello.
No, do the whole hey.
Okay, so don't make fun of me. Don't.
No, I'm
okay,
not.
because
I'm
here's the
correcting
thing.
You if you're
yeah,
wrong.
because it's not about having a perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation. It's about being able to be understood. So like one of the things that you have to do is like almost every other day, it's like introduce yourself and tell a tiny bit about yourself. So
Jurre calls this the butt parade, by the way.
yeah, it's the butthole parade. They're showing their buttholes off. So like the basic thing you have to do is like say who you are, what you are from, like what you do for a living, if you're married and stuff. So I'm on the spot, so I'm probably gonna like ruin it in such a way, but I will try. Okay. Hallo, mein Name ist Jurre von Herwijnen. Ich komme aus den Niederlanden und ich bin 26 Jahre alt. Ich bin verheiratet mit meiner Frau Steffi, which sounds so stupid, weird. Or Sara. Und ich wohne in Deutschland vor 7 Monaten. Zeit.
Oh, or für?
Für 7 Monate.
Can you say 26?
26.
Better.
Okay. Here's the thing.
No, you say 26.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you say it sharp with the sharp sound. Everyone else says it with like a sound.
No, the thing is if you say 26, that's not how we say it. You say sex.
Okay.
Sex.
Yeah.
That's why we always have like people giggling when it's like someone is saying sex.
Ha ha ha. Oh, we make the jokes because it's very similar to that. What's next?
I don't know.
Ooh, actually, that looks really good. Yeah, this is of course.
Which one is the right height? The right or the?
I think it's this one. This one.
That one is better, right?
That one is
better. Too deep.
Yeah, this one is too deep.
All right. So that one is better.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Glad we solved that because now I have to open that stuff again, which is annoying.
You can reuse it, right? Part of it.
Maybe.
Und ich bin Fotograf von Beruf.
It's so scary. I don't want him to learn German.
What else?
Meine Katzen. Die American Cats.
Und ich habe 2 flauschige amerikanische Katzen. Flauschige amerikanische Katzen.
Flauschige.
I refuse to say it. It's not about how I pronounce it. It's about
what?
you being able to. It's about you being able to understand me.
Yeah, but I understand you better if you say it like this.
I know, but that's not the point.
Yes, that's exactly the point. Plus, the Russian woman told me I have to teach you German, so I teach you one word every day.
Okay, in order to get away with the excuse and not being able to really lie about the fact that we don't speak German to each other. What else? I don't really know.
I'm a little worried how it works because I can't really see with my other eye. Oh, okay.
Oh,
the VR?
The VR. I don't know. Yeah, that might be a little bit of a challenge.
Thomas can understand you.
So yeah, here's the thing. I can read fairly okay because I can pick up words a little bit better. I can understand more words now because grammar-wise, I pick up more of the details. But yeah, I miss so many words in between other words that I do know that like building a proper sentence is so hard. It's just so hard and difficult to actually come up with like a sentence that...
But seriously, his German what he does is good.
Like when I have to read, I can sound fairly convincing to people who aren't German. Like I when I read like a proper German like introduction, for instance.
He's just doing that weird.
I don't know how, like you have like
over enunciating.
Yeah, over enunciation. Like when we have like we have a course book that comes with it that has like a CD and like certain exercises you have to do, like you have to listen and repeat. And I sound a little bit like the CD version when they pronounce stuff. It's like Guten Tag, mein Name ist Jurre.
Thomas started laughing now because that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's kind of... Well, it sounds stupid, but that's the easiest way to actually understand. Rosalind says in the chat, I learned German when I was in school a long time ago. but I have trouble with putting it into a sentence. Basically.
Yeah, I've had issues with English. They teach you things at school, like words and vocabulary and grammar.
Also, the biggest other problem is that I have entire sentences in my head, but I don't know if they're correct. So as soon as I start speaking, trying to have an actual conversation with someone who refuses to speak English with me, or at least refuses to understand English, because that's the worst part about the people that teach me. Like there's one person that just simply refuses to understand and responds when clearly I don't know the word that I'm trying to say, but I do know the word perfectly in English.
Oh my God! Look at him, he's stretching.
Yeah. And that's like the most frustrating thing, that I have a word in my head. I don't know if the word is correct. And clearly it isn't the word that I'm seeking for in the sentence. Yeah. And I refuse to actually give me the word that I need when I say because the biggest thing when we're in class, we have other people in the class, of course. And most people are either from Romania, we have an entire group from Syria. They are doing fairly good, considering the fact that they don't have the Western alphabet. They don't have Western numbers. I think they don't have sentence structures we have.
So here's the thing. They are here. They don't have anything to go back to.
True.
You have a Germanic background, family, whatever, in the Netherlands.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Your situation is completely different.
Yeah. No, that's
plus you already have a support system behind you. They don't, so they actually have to learn it.
I was saying last week on the stream as well. I'm legitimately impressed with how fast they have picked up, and I'm thinking that they've already been in the class with one of the teachers that we have for a while, because one of the guys is remarkably well when it comes to actually writing it. Because he has words that I'm like, I wonder how you learned that word, because I know the word as a word speaking it, but I don't know how to write it, because German has some weird quirks that don't work for me, because I learned the word in Dutch.
Okay, if you know the German alphabet, we pronounce and write. Okay, we write shit like it's pronounced. Seriously, it's nothing where O and a U turns into a U sound like in French or the E as a E or a E in French. In German, it's if it's a A, the A, it's a A, and if it has two dots on it, it's a E. It's just simply what it is. It is, period. So if you have that in your mind at some point and understand stuff further on, it's easy for you to translate that shit. The hard part is the grammar part.
Yeah. Well, in all honesty,
and that has to come naturally. You can't learn that shit.
Well,
really.
Here's the thing: you have to learn certain words. You have to just learn the words. But I like the fact that German is lovely German, because grammar rules make sense. When something applies, and it even says it on the little overview things that we get from time to time. It actually says for 95% of the time that is how it's pronounced, unless it's a really old word that isn't ever really used anymore in modern language of Germany or Dutch. In Dutch, we have grammar rules, but it's one of those things if you're not Dutch, you just have to learn certain words, because they are just the way they are, because we use words from French, from German, from English.
But you have a shit ton of German.
Yeah, we have a lot of German words, or words that used to be German and are different, because we have a lot of French influences in them.
But it's not that much. They actually have a lot of German.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's so easy to, when I hear a word that I don't know yet, or I'm not certain if that is actually a word that applies to German as well as to Dutch. Yeah, it works.
Wait.
What?
That makes no sense.
What?
I actually attached it where it was supposed to be. That just means this. That makes no sense.
You can figure it out after the stream is done, because it's time to wrap up the stream. We've been streaming for almost an hour and a half, which is way longer than I thought it would have been. I guess the drugs that I took before the stream actually worked quite well, because I had a headache, if you guys remember. So guys, thank you for joining us this week. I actually had a lot of fun, considering the fact that I was about to just stream for a really short time and just leave it at that. What but now? Do you want to stream more? Is that a yes or a no?
I don't know.
Okay. I would like to stream more.
Yeah, then...
Oh, also, before we leave, I think in the vlog I was talking about that PlayStation has a new update out which allows you to stream to your Mac or Windows machines. What?
Read the last one. The last one.
Ubermenschlich?
P.S. Say my name, Jurre, Gary, whatever.
Jurre, what?
Just try to pronounce it.
Jurre, Gary?
Yeah, you should pronounce that name. Since you're not pronouncing that name, you get Yuri or Gary or whatever.
I don't care. I will just not respond. No, here's the thing. I honestly don't mind because my name is so hard. But come on, your name is so long. Like I don't even ask people to pronounce my last name because I know it's difficult.
Is it Womble Kebabs?
I think that's what it was. He actually spelled it out earlier. I did read it I think once. But I like to mess with you guys because I'm lazy. I'm really lazy. I just like short names. So it's not your fault. It is mine. But yeah, okay. Thank you guys for joining us this week. Because every time that I go off screen, thank you for joining us this week. We'll be probably streaming maybe later in the week a little bit about some other things. Because I want to talk about like the remote play that PlayStation now had. It actually works really great. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. I actually tested it out a little bit more, and it works remarkably well considering the fact that they didn't have to put that update on the PS4. There's some weird issues I see.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be back next week. If you're watching the stream after it's gone up as a video on YouTube, make sure to comment because otherwise we won't know that you watched it. We'll be back streaming next week, hopefully on the time that we say it is. We started a little bit later today because of the fact that we were in traffic, but that's fine. Make sure to stick around for the post chats because like every single week we've been doing like a post chat that pops up in the middle of the screen where we'll talk.
You know what's in my mind when I hear that?
Post chat?
No. Stop trying to make the post chat a thing.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Well, it is a thing and it is happening because it makes it a little bit more fun so we can talk to you guys a little bit more.
It's crooked. Why is it crooked? It makes no sense.
I guess you've sewn a little piece too much in one side, I guess.
No, this one was cut too much.
Okay. Yeah.
Fuck, guys.
We'll be chatting with you guys for like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm hungry as fuck.
I'm hungry too.
Also,
but we had so much food. I don't know.
Well, we had food earlier today, but that wasn't enough.
I don't know. So did I say it correctly? I at least need to know that.
Well, you can see it in the chat. Yeah. Well, guys, bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Wow. cherche un homme, un Pierre au Paul, un Jacques au Tom.